Anybody ever heard the term happy camper? Well, see, Tammy is a happy camper. And so I don't have to tell this story over and over. I have 3 knots on my head and my eyeballs are swollen. That's camping for me. Now, I should have known about 18 years ago. This is a true story. 18 years ago, we borrowed the Wilsons' camper. Are the Wilsons here this morning? Brother Wilson. And there's Velma. And I had a tough time getting to Canaan Valley because that camper was fishtailing and pushing me down the hill because I didn't realize you had to plug in the line to get the brakes to work on the camper. So I'm not making this stuff up. I got there and I hooked up the little sewer line thing, in the water, and I thought everything was cool, but nobody told me you had to pull that little gate open so the stuff could run out. And so the second day, stuff started seeping up in the floor of the camper, and I went and borrowed a plunger and a snake, and nothing worked. So I crawled up under the camper with a hammer, and I'm tapping on the pipe. That's not smart. Don't do that. The pipe cracked, and it covered me. Now I'm not talking about the gray tank. I'm talking about the stuff, okay? Now, I'm mad, and every time I run out of the camper, why they make those doors short like this, I bump my head. And my kids are like, and their mother's saying, don't laugh at him. So I figure it out. I find the little gate. I open the door. The stuff all runs into the right tank. And, of course, most of it has run down into the ditch by now and all over me. And I duct tape the pipes back together. I get a shower. I'm all cleaned up. Everything's fine. I jump on a bicycle. This was in the days of payphones. To go call the Wilsons and tell them I will pay for the damage to the camper to order the pipe. And I hit the culvert wrong and flip over the handlebars of the bicycle back into the sewage. That was then. So when that movie RV came out about Robin Williams, my kids all call me, Dad, they made a movie about you. This week we went camping again. Now I own a camper this time. Why do they build a cabinet right over the bed? You sit up in the middle of the night. Do you think there's a cabinet right over my bald head? Those of you that have hair, sometimes that's a blessing. So I have to go in the middle of the night, and I raise up and almost knock myself out, not number one. The next morning, we wake up and we hear drip, 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 drip. There's a leak under the kitchen sink. I'm not making this up. I'm up under the kitchen sink trying to fix the leak, and I reach up to get the pliers. How many's ever raised up underneath the kitchen sink cabinet? Not number 2. All these hurt really bad. Well, I'm wearing a hat now, and my daughter suggests I wear a football helmet now when I go camping. And it's a 5th-wheel camper, so you got that little area that comes up like this, and it's about this high. Well, I'm literally running because we're packing up, and it's starting to rain, and I thought I ducked low enough to run under that, and I ran into it so hard that it knocked me down. I walk over and sit down at the picnic table. You know those cartoons where you see the little stars up above their heads? You really see those. You hit your head hard enough, you really do see stars in the middle of the day. And I'm sitting at the picnic table. My head is hurting so bad that I cannot see straight. And I said, Alicia, go into the camper and give me some Tylenol. And Tammy's saying, I know it's not funny, but... Honestly, while I am trying to get my sight back, a yellow jacket flies out from under the table and stings me right between the eyes. That's the truth. I want to thank Frank and Shirlene for the camper. And so I had to wear my glasses like this to drive, and then put my head back like this because they're bifocals. And so I'm still kind of a little bit miserable, but I want to thank you all for praying for us to have a wonderful camping trip.
I'd like to say I'm surprised, but knowing you, I'm not. By the way, those must be some really short doors for you to hit your head. Can't wait to hear the sermon.